Hey y'all, Erfan here. Before we start, I just wanted to say one thing. Thank you. Thank you for your support in the last year. Thank you for tuning in each week. Thank you for telling your friends about us. We've had an incredible year here at Cultcast. I've always thought about Cultcast as being more than just us. We're a part of it, you're a part of it, and we all get to be a part of this fun, weird universe that we've built together. Thank you for your support, and hopefully you enjoy this holiday episode. Okay, enough gushing. Here we go.
Go ahead and start.
Scissors to open the top?
No, it's just taped on top.
Okay.
Oh.
Let your sister help. Why is this thing all blurry? Slowly grab one of them and bring them out. And then grab the other one and bring it out.
Wait. You gotta wait till Sissy gets hers so you can open at the same time.
Oh my god!
What did you get?
I got a green
Hello, and welcome to Cultcast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Erfan Elijah. Joining me today, my rock, my foundation, the bearded, the beautiful, Buster. Buster.
Oh, whoa, hey, how's it going?
I put some extra stank on that one for you.
A lot of stank.
And we had one Mr. Alex Excelsior Heath ditch. We had one Mr. El Caney ditch. He's probably at a pub somewhere.
Yeah.
And the first person I thought of, I was like, we got to get Mr. Mattcast himself. Adam Christensen is joining us. Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Can I just admit something to you?
My pub is right here in my closet.
What is?
My pub. You probably don't know this. You probably don't know this, but I moved recently. So my studio, which used to be a spare bedroom in my house, we kind of downsized, and I don't have an extra bedroom in my new house.
Oh, no.
So I'm literally in the 6 foot by 6 foot closet for now.
So now you record in the closet?
I do.
That's wonderful. That's dedication right there.
And I've got my beer here, so I just said my pub's in my closet.
My alcohol lives in my sock in a flask that I keep with me at all times. So I'll be breaking that out in just a little bit. Welcome to our holiday episode. Well, we did a holiday episode already, but this is our holiday last of the year episode. This is the very last episode we're going to do in 2014. So I was thinking, what better to do than to go through some of our favorite stuff of the year. So tech products, Mac apps, iOS apps, movies, Christmas movies, TV shows. We're going to cover all that stuff, and we all have a pick, and we're just going to do a round robin and just go through them one by one, boom, 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 and tell you about some of our favorite stuff. And I have to admit, this is actually kind of a challenge. You would think this would be really easy to do, but coming up with like your favorite movies of 2014, I had to Google movies that came out in 2014. Before we jump into the show, I do want to thank Linda for supporting this episode. I kid you not, before we started, I was talking to Adam about Linda, and he said, I love Linda. Did you not, Adam?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, in full disclosure, they sponsor the Maccast as well.
Yeah.
But I knew about and used Linda long before that, and I had it through one of my jobs that I had, and then it was sort of like, I can't not have this anymore. Like when I
feel
left
the same way.
that job, because I'm a programmer, and they have great tutorials, on like the latest stuff that's coming out. So I was just telling you, sometimes if a project will come up and it'll be in a language I haven't really worked in yet, and it's one of the first places I'll go check and see if they have a course, and they almost always do. And then I can kind of get up to speed pretty quick.
You're like, everyone just totally threw me under the bus to do this, to support Linda. I didn't.
No,
I asked your permission before. But also, I was setting you up because normally on the show, I always say, I love Linda. Long pause. .com. It's kind of like we all giggle, but Leander's getting tired of that joke. But I was like, see, I'm not the only one. Adam loves Linda too. They have over 4,500 courses for you to choose from now, and they're offering our listeners a 10-day free trial. Not a 7-day free trial, 10 days. What better time than this time of year to go and learn as much as you want about photography, business, programming, design, marketing. I mean, they have it all. Head on over to lynda.com/cultcast. That's lynda.com/cultcast for a 10-day free trial. Without further ado, I was thinking that we could start with our favorite tech products of 2014. Let me rephrase that. a favorite. A favorite. So this doesn't have to be the best one that you saw all year long. It just has to be one that you actually find memorable, because we're all obviously using stuff throughout the year, and I can't remember what products I used in 2012, let alone 2013 or 14. I have no idea. So does anyone want to go first?
I can go first on this one.
Adam, what do you got?
And there's a kind of a backstory behind mine. I don't know that this is necessarily something that came out in 2014. I think it's actually been around for a while.
Okay.
But this year, I had, unfortunately, a number of issues with my MacBook Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had put in like a data doubler and done some stuff. And anytime I have to send it back into Apple to get repairs,
Mm-hmm.
I need to like get all that stuff out. And so I spent a lot of time this year opening up my MacBook Pro and like taking components in and out. And so I used the iFixit ProTech toolkit,
Yeah.
which is like this awesome thing. It comes with like every tool you need, all the spludgers and all the different screwdrivers, the pentalobe, the spludgers, the little plastic things for like lifting off the little connectors so you don't break them.
Yeah.
Right?
Important tool. I had no idea what those were actually called. A spludger.
Or like crack the case open in your iPhone or something like that, and you got to get in there and do it safely so you don't damage the components. Yeah, so you got a full set of those. You got all of your screwdrivers. You got the pentalobe, that weird star-shaped thing that you need for your iPhone screws.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got like 52 different bits in it, all the plastic opening tools. And the one thing I like about it the best is it comes in this little folded case.
Mm-hmm.
That just, I it almost feels to me like the surgeon's toolkit, where they like roll it out and you've got all your
that's exactly what it looks
your
like.
scalpel
Right?
and exactly like that. So every time I feel like I'm gonna go operate on my MacBook Pro, I pull out the iFixit.
And if your phone
toolkit.
breaks or your MacBook breaks, if Adam's there, he's like screwdriver.
I was just using it today, but I used it so much this year that it was like, this has got to be the pick, because this is the thing that saved my life this year. Because if I didn't have it, I don't know.
I was trying to think about products that way too. Is there's things that really impress you, and then there's things that you actually use a lot, and it's kind of tough to decide which one you're going to pick.
Yeah, my picks all today are going to be very practical. I'm going through the things that like in 2014 are the things that I really
used a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to adjust on the fly here. Minor things I've used once, and I'm like,
well,
oh yeah, this is pretty cool.
Cool things are cool too,
Right. Okay, well, I hate to do this, I really do, but along the same spirit of your passionate argument about things that are practical, I have to say my iPhone 6 Plus is my pick. I hate to say that because it's such a cop-out. It really is, but it's the best phone I've ever owned. Yeah. And I love the screen size. I love the industrial design. It's the best iPhone I've ever had. But I think more than anything else, and I've said this before, the battery life on this phone is incredible. And it's probably the one thing about the 6 Plus that I really, really love more than the 6, is that I can use the 6 Plus all day long. I mean, heavy use all day, and it actually will go all day long without having me to go find an outlet somewhere. And I've never had an iPhone that has been able to do that. And even when your phone gets down to 13%, and I'm on the bus somewhere going home, before I would be like, okay, I'm done. I can't use this phone anymore in case I need to make a phone call, which, by the way, one time I ignored that rule, and I got on the wrong bus, and I didn't realize it. And I got stranded in the middle of downtown Seattle without a phone. And no way to look up how to like get a bus back to my house. So now I don't have to worry about getting stranded, because I know even with 13% left, I can use my phone for an hour, maybe longer, and it will still have battery life left. That's my pick. I'm sorry.
I thought about doing the same thing, because I really do love my 6 Plus, probably more than the 5 and 5S.
See, I can't handle that ball and chain.
Are you with the 6, Adam?
No, I have a 6 Plus, and I wish I had a 6.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, I love the 6 Plus for all the same reasons you guys are. The screen is awesome. Like watching movies on it is awesome. I'm doing a lot more actual work on it. And I will take it sometimes when I don't want to haul my my iPad Air. But what I realized after owning it is I am definitely the type of person where I'd prefer to have 2 devices. I'd prefer to have my Air with me and a smaller phone that I could leave in my pocket. My problem is I really can't comfortably carry it around in my pocket. And so I'm always taking my phone out now. And that just it grates on me.
Buster and I do that too. Actually, we were talking about that on a previous episode.
Yeah.
You cannot keep this thing in your pocket. It's just too big.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I
whenever you
don't
sit
like
down,
that.
you just have to take it
Yeah,
out.
I don't like it. And I have a feeling I'm going to like it even less with, because the other thing is I have a Pebble, so like notifications and stuff like that, a lot of those I get on my wrist now. So I'd prefer to have my phone in my pocket. Now it's just like, why do I have my phone out and I've got this thing? So it's just weird. And it's going to feel even worse, I think, when I get my Apple Watch.
It just makes it even easier to get your notifications. You got to think about it that way. It's like you can look on your desk where your phone is or look on your wrist. It's up to you.
They're within inches of each other. It's convenience.
Literally within inches. Buster, what's your pick?
It's not, I guess it's not really a tech product, but I would say, but it is tech because it felt pretty magical. The Oru folding kayak that I had this year.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably my favorite thing that I've had all year, or that I've used all year.
I would say that's probably your favorite product ever. Is that going overboard?
I would say, yeah, maybe. I mean, iPhones and iPads are cool, but yeah, it's just really awesome that I have a kayak that fits into my car and you can take it everywhere. And it really is cool that, they have, kayaks that can fold up into such a small size now. So I guess it's kind of tech related.
It is tech related. I mean,
yeah.
Technology created that product, so I'm going to give you that.
All right, cool.
So is that thing still performing pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, I broke part of it a little bit. just one of the little latches that keeps it really tight together because it is plastic. All of the components are too. So it is a little bit breakable if you're not delicate with the folding stuff. So I did snap one thing, but it's not like a crucial piece. Other than that, it's still awesome.
Side benefit, you're going to be really good at origami.
Oh, dude, I'm going to show Leander's kid up. He's really good, but...
You're going to build like an elaborate dragon that's breathing fire and be like, here, take that, you suck. Okay, those are our tech products. Again, a favorite. These are probably not the things that we love the most. I could probably... Just like last year when I came up with movies and I told everyone my pick was the freaking Desolation of Smaug Hobbit movie, and I facepalmed after we stopped recording because I'm like, really? I can't believe I chose that. It's not our favorite stuff, just a favorite. So with that in mind, let's continue. Let's do a Mac app. Adam, why don't we... Oh, actually, Adam, you started, so why don't I go this time?
Okay.
So I was trying to think of a Mac app that I really enjoy using and that is useful. A lot of the apps that I use nowadays, I feel like I've been using forever. So I was trying to think of something that came out this year, and it occurred to me that my pick would have to be CalcBot for the Mac. So I love CalcBot for iPhone, even though I think they desperately need to update the app because it hasn't even been updated for the iPhone 5 and the larger screen. But I don't want to rant about that. I'll focus on the Mac app because the Mac app is fantastic. It's the best calculator app available that I have ever seen. It's really well designed. It's simple to use. It has a plethora of useful features in. So for example, you can create a calculation and then save the results and refer to it later. It has a bunch of built-in values for different things that you can use in your calculations. And just like CalcBot for iPhone, there's just a lot of like little stuff, like little design changes here and there that make the app just it makes it a joy to use. It's so refined. They did such a good job. Even on the sound effects, they did a fantastic job. I think it's $5 in the App Store. I don't remember how much I paid, but I'm going to go with 5, maybe 5 or 6. And just like all of Tapbot's apps, like WaitBot, ConvertBot, just a brilliant, brilliant app. Those guys do really good work. That's going to be my pick. Buster, you want to go next?
Sure, yeah, I got one. I don't know if it came out this year either, but it's probably the app I use. One of the most used apps, GIF Brewery, because I do the GIFs. I love that GIF action. So I mean, it's just I've tried tons of GIF making apps, and none of them are like as easy to use, but also have just enough like precise tools to like really like fine tune like the GIFs to make them a small size and shareable and stuff like that. So that's probably like my most used app. Everybody always asks what I use to make GIFs with, and I just use GIF Brewery because it's super simple.
You are the GIF master, I would say.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
pretty
good
much my
gifts?
job at Colton Mag.
It's main gift maker.
Yeah.
You're like the Santa Claus of gifts.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just hand them out, all the children, and enjoy them.
I make gifts just before people even get to the post. I'm just like, here, dude, I got a
Boom.
gift.
Here,
That's awesome.
take this gift. Is it a restaurant? He's like, boom, here, have a gift. And the waiter's like all shocked and surprised.
Take it.
How much is the app, Buster?
I don't even remember, to
think
be
it's
honest
like
with you. I think it's like,
$14.
yeah, I think it might be $15, but I think it's worth it. There's some free options out there. Really, none of them are as good. I would just go with Gift Brewery if you like making gifts.
I love making gifts. Adam, what do you got?
Oh, sorry.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Wow. That was interesting.
Adam's chugging beers over there.
I am going with, again, another sort of practical app. It's
Okay.
something that I really relied on this year. And again, I don't know that it necessarily came out this year, but I am a programmer, and I rely a lot on Git for doing source control, and also GitHub for managing that stuff. And there is a WYSIWYG tool called or I think it's just called Tower, or Git Tower, that I use for doing all my version control for all the programming that I'm working on. And it is just absolutely awesome. It makes it so easy, because otherwise you have to kind of go through the command line, and who wants to live in terminal all day? I guess really
Besides me.
big geeks do. I live in terminal too, and I'm not afraid of it. But just kind of remembering a lot of the commands and things like that, you got to do all that stuff, and it just makes it much easier to go through their WYSIWYG, and it's just done so well that I have no reason to need to kind of fall back on the command line. It covers all the features that I need to use in terms of checking things into the repository, if I need to roll back things, if I need to stash things. It just handles all of it for me. And it's great because I have a lot of projects going on, and so it can just manage all of them, and I can jump back and forth between different projects and things like that. I can see my revision history. I can do all my diff and change monitoring and stuff like that. And I use it every day, all day long. So
Those are the best
that's
kinds
gotta
of
be the
picks,
pick.
though, the things that make your life easier.
And so it's kind of specialized. It's definitely not for everybody, but if you're a programmer and you're not doing version control or source control, it's something you should look into. And I would definitely recommend looking at Git, because I've tried the other ones. I've done Subversion. I did, I always get it wrong because I always want to say CMS, but the thing that we all used prior to Subversion and Git, and Git is just by far the one that made the most sense for me.
So is it just GET? Is it the
Yeah,
name
it's
of
Tower.
Oh,
Tower. And I think if you just Google like Git Tower, I can get you the link.
I'm just writing these
I should know
down
the
so we can
developers,
put them in the and we put all this stuff in the show notes.
It's get-tower.com.
Get-tower-tower.com. By the way, for those people that are listening who don't look in the show notes, we always keep this stuff in the show notes. So in whatever podcast app you're using, they're there, and then also they're also on the cultcast.com. We keep all the show notes, all the links are always there. So if you ever like, hey, what were they talking about? You can go and refer to that stuff there. So we always try to link up to that stuff in case you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, and another awesome thing about Git Tower is wherever you're doing your repositories. So if you're using Beanstalk, you're using GitHub, or even if you're using Coda or Xcode as development environments, it integrates with all that stuff. So.
And I'm assuming the UI is just beautifully designed and elegant.
Very much a Mac UI. Like GitHub. Well, GitHub has their own GUI client, and I was using that for a while, but it pales in comparison to Git Tower.
How much was Git Tower?
I think it's $59.
Okay,
so it's definitely a pro tool.
Yeah,
this is for programmers. It's not. It's not a casual thing. So.
I don't feel like that's a high price though, even for a
it's not at
tool.
all. No, it's not at all. But it's not $9.99.
Gotcha. Okay, iOS apps. Let's see. Adam went first. I went first. Buster.
Dude, this one's hard.
It's a tough pick.
I got quite a few.
Well, you could do a honorable mention if you want.
Okay, I got a few actually. I'm gonna like Slack. I really like Slack. That came out this year, which is really awesome.
Did that come out this year?
Education. I think so.
Because I had several people tweet me. I asked some of my Twitter followers what was their favorite, and actually Slack came up a couple times, which I was surprised because it's basically
we switched to it this year.
So Cultamac uses it now, and it's basically just like an enterprise communication tool, right?
Yeah, but it's really minimalist, but it also allows you to do so much stuff because it has all types of integration with tons of different channels. So it's a really nice chat app. It's like Hip Chat, only like really, really nice. If you've ever used Hip Chat or Microsoft Messenger.
I thought Hip Chat or Hip Chaps, that's a whole other suggestion. I thought Hip Chat was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good, but then Slack is way better, which is awesome. So that would be on my list. I'd also put Acorns on there, the little investment app that like tosses your spare change from purchases into like a small investment account. That one's been super handy. Then like what?
No, sorry, I was gonna say, didn't Alex pitch that one on a previous show? Because I've heard of that somewhere.
No, I've pitched
Maybe it was
that
you.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, I've
Good app.
saved like a decent chunk of change just off of it rounds up your purchases and saves that into an account, and it built up like a nice little acorn for me over the year.
Nice little acorn. You're like, I've got like an extra $100 in retirement this year.
Yeah,
Squirreling away his
fabulous. And then favorite game, I would say Vainglory, the new MOBA game that they premiered at the iPhone event with the scarf guy.
Okay.
I've been addicted to it like the last few weeks. It's been ridiculous.
And you're still playing it because I remember
I'm still playing. Yeah.
You pitched this last time, and usually when someone pitches me a game, I play it for a week or two afterwards, and then I get tired of it. You're still going.
I am, yeah. I mean, I don't really play iOS games that often, but I enjoy it. It's kind of like a Xbox game on your iPhone a little bit.
Do you have a little team of people that you play with?
I have a friend that I play with sometimes whenever we're up late at night. But other than that, that's the only problem with the game is like it's public. So you get on crappy teams and it doesn't matter how good you are. You just die.
So this is the problem that I was having. One, when I started playing, this random thing. And I think the way you have to, because I think you'll get on a random team and then it feels like you're going up against like three guys that have been like playing for like since it was released. And they just like crush you, and you're like,
there's like guilds and line teams and stuff. Lots of people like take it. Like there's pro teams and stuff, which is just so silly to me. But it's like super serious. It's it's awesome.
When you say there's pro teams, can you compete and actually win anything?
I don't know. There's like pro players. They have like the people that make it. They have like a pro player every Friday come and like play and do like live chat, talk about like their skills and stuff. They're usually mostly, Korean, Asian. I think that's where most of the pros come from because I don't think you can make any money in the States off of it.
Yeah, you probably can't make any money here, but I know in other countries they have serious video game competitions.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Koreans Japan, it's huge.
That game in particular is big in.
I don't know about Vainglory in particular, but yeah, just like the I don't know, video game, like professional video gaming is.
You said it was Vainglory, right?
Yeah,
Vainglory.
I heard that dear leader Kim Jong-un is undefeated in that game, and
really?
And actually invented it. Yes.
Do you know his name? Because I want to add him.
I think it's dear leader Kim Jong-un will kill all.
Oh, okay.
Search for that. I could be wrong, but I heard he's just. There's no one that's better. He's also an incredible basketball player, and probably could have gone pro if he didn't have to run his country. Which takes up an immense amount of time. Okay, well that's like 20 apps.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't.
That's all the Cultcast we have for you guys this week. No, that's fine. I would prefer too many apps to too few.
Yeah.
Adam, do you want to go next? Do you mind going next? Because I'm going to try and look for a couple more now.
Some of yours get picked.
Go ahead.
Hopefully, I won't pick yours. I'm actually going to go fun this time. Just something that I really enjoyed playing and was also stimulating to the mind and the eye, and that's Monument Valley.
Monument Valley.
That was a great game.
Monument Valley.
I have not even heard of it.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't think so.
It's super artsy.
Yeah, it's like this. It's sort of like a puzzle, almost adventure style game.
Yep, I'm with you now. Okay.
Very MC Escher-esque. So it's all these sort of visual mind teaser puzzles that you have to solve to get this character Ada, I don't know, Ida to find these different, I think it's shapes or something like that. I never got into the story part of it. I was more into the puzzle side of it. But yeah, so you're trying to, climb stairs and get past these little black crow-like guys and try and, get to the end of the level where you then earn like a little symbol, and you collect the little symbols, and you get enough, and then you win the game. And so they came out later. So the original game came out, I think, in the spring, like April, and then they just did an update, and then they also did an add-on update for the Red promotion that Apple was doing in apps as well.
I see.
So you can get the original, I think, 8 levels, and then there's like another 7 or 8 levels, and then the Red level as well. So I think the base app is like $4, and then I think it's like $1.99 for the additional levels, and then another 99 cents for the Red.
This
level.
was the game that had really striking visual design, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
That's the thing I always hear people talk about.
Very, very well.
Like, I think they sell like the posters of each level because people like them so much. Also, the soundtrack's really great too.
Is it compatible iPhone and iPad?
Yes.
I might have to download that.
It's really fun and addictive. I mean, you can get through it. Whoa.
That's a beautiful beautiful
Just got a
song you're playing. Oh, I was like, did you open the game? Are you literally playing it right now? Are we boring you that much?
I have an audio engine Bluetooth speaker thing, and so I didn't realize it was set to my audio was set to go off the speakers. It sounds great, right? On the audio engine P4s.
It did. It sounded very, very nice.
I was going to say the other thing is there's this little character, this thing called Totem that kind of helps you along at one point, and it's kind of like this 4 yellow block totem pole thing. And people get so enamored with it. I have a friend who actually builds custom like totems, sells them on Etsy
from the game.
Yeah, and he sent some to the game developers, and the game developers have linked to his site. They're like totally into it.
That's how you know you have something that transcends just a game. When people are starting to fall in love with like the characters or the artwork or what have you, and starting to create like your stuff, like in a tangible way outside the game, those guys are onto something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be that guy again.
Oh, you son of a gun!
I'm gonna choose the Photos app. No, I'm not. I really didn't want to choose this because it's not shiny and sparkly like Monument Valley or Vainglory. It's not something new that came out this year, but it is eminently useful. It's 1Password for iOS.
Oh, okay. That's decent. That's a good app.
They redesigned it this year. It looks better than it ever has. I really love the visual design of the app. It works very well, of course. And now that they've integrated Touch ID into it, it actually has become something that I do use pretty much every single day. Because ever since, I would say probably 6 to 12 months ago, I actually had some of my passwords hacked. I don't know how. And I was using the same password for everything. So these guys could have gotten access to not my higher level stuff, like my banks and stuff, because those passwords are generally more secure and I change them. But like, my lower level stuff, my Amazon account, my eBay account, all that stuff. And ever since that happened, I kind of have been more diligent about changing my passwords and keeping them different for different sites. Well, of course, when you do that, it's impossible to remember what your passwords actually are for all those different sites. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when you enter a password in that you use often, and a website won't let you use your actual password because it doesn't have the kind of characters that they require. So a password manager is absolutely essential in my life, and 1Password I think has become the best one that or the one that I love the most. And now that I'm able to unlock it with just my thumb and not have to enter my password every time, I use it day in, day out. I think the iOS app is actually free now, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
It used to be like $20, and then they also charged you for the Mac app. And I never really liked that strategy. I kind of am a big a big fan of when people give you the iOS app for free and then charge you for just the Mac app. And I think that's the strategy they're taking now. So you buy the Mac app and then it syncs with the iOS app for free. At least it was free last time I checked. Hopefully it still is. But that's my pick, is 1Password for iOS. Let me think if I can come up with another one.
That's good for this year too, with all the increased
Touch
hacking
ID.
that happened this year.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't want your nude selfies taken. Although that's not at all. That wouldn't have helped you in any way. But still.
I don't even think that was just media coverage. I think literally we're getting to the point where hackers are just getting more and more sophisticated, and they're going after more stuff.
Yeah,
whatever
and
reason.
iOS and OS 10 are becoming more popular platforms with more people using them. All your stuff is now being stored in the cloud, so they can get access to stuff that they just never could have gotten access to before. So you're right. I think we're living in a more dangerous digital world. You really have to be diligent, I think, so that you don't get your data stolen.
Sucks.
Your
I wish it wasn't that way.
inappropriate pictures stolen. I agree. I agree. I mean, what is the world coming to when you can't store, videos of yourself dancing in a way that's totally appropriate when you're by yourself? Maybe you're not wearing many garments, but that's not obviously something you want anyone else to see. That's not cool at all. Adam, do you have another app pick before we move on, or?
Yeah, I could give you another.
No,
one.
you don't need to. I was just kind of stalling because I'm sitting here looking for another one.
I didn't know I needed to have
No,
two.
you don't. You don't.
there-
Do you want to mention one more? You don't have to, because if you don't, I will.
You go for it. I'll give
Okay.
you another one.
I'm
after.
gonna repitch something that I've pitched before, and Alex Excelsior Heath made fun of me. But the Alien Blue app for Reddit has been re-released, and it's better than ever. I never actually used to use the Reddit app before or Alien Blue before because I just didn't find it to be very intuitive or of a high caliber. Now I love it. It's great. It's easy to use. In fact, I prefer using the app now over the website. I used to just use the mobile site all the time because I didn't like the app. So that's my pick. And I think it is free, although they have some pro features that you can pay for if you choose to. Adam,
Yes.
did you have one more?
I did. I had
Okay.
another game, and now I lost it. It was right in front of me. Oh. Leo's Fortune.
Oh,
Leo's
how is that
Fortune.
game?
It is great.
I've heard a lot
Another
about
great
it.
game that is beautiful in terms of the graphics. It's kind of like a side scroller kind of adventure, and you're this little fuzzy blue ball. It sounds weird, with a mustache, of course. You gotta have a mustache.
I instantly like it now.
And you roll along. Basically, your gold has been taken, and you're trying to figure out who took your gold and to get all your gold back. So you go down these ramps, and you jump over spiky balls, and you fall down mine shafts, and it is just it's really fun. It's challenging, and it's beautiful in terms of the artwork.
I
So-
never would have pegged Adam as a big iOS gamer.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge iOS gamer. I like apps that are just pretty,
Yeah.
if I could say that.
Please do.
I really appreciate, just the design of stuff. So I will buy a lot of apps just based on the design and not care so much about the gameplay. But in this case, it's the perfect combination of both. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing now on the App Store, I think it was a winner of Apple's Design Award. And actually, Monument Valley might have also been 2014.
Well,
Design
don't you just have impeccable taste?
I don't know. These are just the games I enjoy. There's another bunch of games from a game developer called Inkle that are more of these storytelling games, like the game Sorcery and Sorcery 2. And they came out with one just a couple of weeks ago called The Sailor's Dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even figure out what that game, what you're supposed to do in that game.
I really like the title though.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little Myst-like, but it doesn't really have puzzles as much as you're just reading through the story. It's almost like a choose your own adventure kind of story, and you're trying to collect these songs. And I haven't gotten that far in it. I haven't had a lot of time to play with it. But again, just the visuals are really cool, and it has cool elements like you'll be reading the story. It was funny. I was reading one of the stories and I got to the bottom of it and there was just a print button. And I'm like, well, what's this? And you print, and this is on iOS, right?
Yeah.
So you print to your iOS printer, and then it basically prints out a line illustration of the thing you were just reading about.
That's kind of.
But there's no graphic in the actual game. It's just text. But to see the visual, you actually print it out, which was an interesting
So wait,
element.
the game is all text?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, it's like one of those old school Dungeons and Dragons games.
Well, and that's what sorcery and these other games are like too. As you're reading along, it's stitching together text, and then with sorcery, there is this little sort of back and forth, almost dice roll kind of combat element in it.
Mm-hmm.
But they also did Around the World in 80 Days, or I think it's just called 80 Days. It's a whole series of apps that are much more textual, but still visually interesting with how they sort of cull together the story, and there's some line illustrations and stuff like that. It's really subtle in terms of the artwork because it's mostly textual, but those are really cool apps too.
Okay, Leo's Fortune. Is that, how much does it cost?
$4.99.
$4.99. Okay. All right. I'm not going to pitch another app. I think there's probably enough on the apps, but I want to do movies. I thought we could do a Christmas movie as well. And we'll do TV shows at the very end. I actually gave this some thought. If you guys caught our live show, somebody asked us about our favorite movies, and I just kind of drew a blank, Buster. I was like, I
It's
don't
hard
know.
to think of what all you've watched, you know?
I know. I almost said, well, clearly it's The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
It's hard
Which
if
is
you
my
like a lot
eternal
of
pick forevermore. What's that?
I said it's hard if you like. I watch a lot of movies and I like movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when you're put on the spot, it's sometimes hard to remember one, what you saw that year, and then two, just to pick sometimes.
I agree with you. And I think, if anything, this segment has taught me that I actually need to watch more movies and finish the TV shows I start, because I still have not finished Breaking Bad. And there's all these great shows that people keep recommending to me, especially on Twitter, and people are surprised that I haven't seen them. But I never actually sit down. I don't like to watch something that I haven't seen before when I'm doing something else. So if I'm on my computer, I don't want to watch a movie that I haven't seen. And so what I realized about myself is I'm always doing something else. I'm always working on something. So I need to like set aside time and not watch anything or not do anything and just focus on one TV show or one movie. But it's tough to do when you're trying to, build an empire. You guys with me? All right. Before we move on, I want to say thank you to Lynda, lynda.com/cultcast. I want to thank Lynda for supporting this episode. You guys have probably heard me talk about Lynda. Maybe you haven't checked it out yourself yet, but now is a great time to do so. I mentioned earlier they're giving our listeners a 10-day free trial instead of 7. It used to be 7. Now it's 10. So you have even more time to check out any of the courses that Lynda has available. They make their entire catalog available to you for free for that 10 days. You can learn how to create music on your iPad by plugging in instruments. You could learn how to edit photos better in multiple different apps, which, by the way, if you're kind of wondering what that secret sauce is on a lot of the photos that you see on Instagram or that you see people post online, it is never that people just take a picture with their camera and post it online. There is a ton of fine tuning that happens in Lightroom, in Snapseed, if you're on your iPhone, that people are doing that make those images look the way they look. Those are the kind of techniques that you really have to become good at if you want to get, 400,000 plus followers on Instagram, like our friend Corey Stodiker, the Prince of Instagram, Princetagram, as I call him. Which, by the way, Corey, if you're listening, what's up? Merry Christmas to you, sir. And also, I did something a little bit fun. So I got a chance to interview a lynda.com author. His name's David Hobby. But he's not just a lynda.com author. This is the guy that I learned how to light from. He has this website called strobus.com. You can go there right now, strobus.com. He started it years ago, I think 2006. And it was just him teaching people how to light well in different scenarios, how to bounce light off different objects, the ceiling, to really take wonderful photographs. He has a course on lynda.com teaching people how to light. He also has a course on travel photography. So I sat down with him, really funny guy. I think you guys are going to like him a lot. And we talked about lighting a little bit, and then we talked about travel photography, when to take your DSLR, when to take a mirrorless camera, when to take your iPhone, how he uses his iPhone when he's traveling. All these different travel photography topics we get into, and it's a really fun discussion. We'll actually be airing that next week. Yes, next week, January 1st, we'll be doing a Cultcast second hour, and David Hobby will be my guest. I was honored to speak with him. As I said, I learned a lot from him. And this is before he was ever with Linda. And I learned a lot from his classes that he made available online. And now his classes are all available on Linda in an even higher quality way. The video courses are all there. They're all indexed. So if he says something that you don't remember, you could search for it because Linda indexes all of their videos. And you can watch his videos on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Mac, and interchangeably go back and forth between all those different devices. It's a wonderful way to learn. And like Adam was saying earlier, I've been using Linda for years. It's one of those services that I just find invaluable, especially for $25 a month. The fact that you can go and learn anything from people like David Hobby, who are absolutely experts in their field and do this day in and day out. I just don't think there's a better way to learn, especially not to get started, especially when you're getting started and you don't want to go and, try to learn on your own because you don't even know what you don't know. Linda's a wonderful way to get started. I want to thank Linda for supporting this episode. If you want to get started, just go to lynda.com/cultcast and you can get started on your 10-day free trial. What else are you going to do over the holidays? Watch movies, I guess. But how many movies can you watch? It's only going to take you 4 hours to get through all the Die Hard movies. How many Die Hard movies are there now?
There's 5, isn't there?
Are there
Yeah,
it's only
at
going to
least.
take you 9 hours to get through the Die Hard movies. Then what? Go learn something. Okay. Let's talk about movies, gentlemen.
Which one are we doing? Are we doing both?
Let's start with a favorite movie of 2014. So something that came out in 2014 and that you saw in the movie theater, preferably.
All right, me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to steal everybody's. No, I don't know. I will or not. I am going with probably my favorite movie I saw this year was the Lego movie.
No!
Everything is awesome.
No, I'm joking. Although I did almost pick that.
Yeah, the Lego movie was just awesome on so many levels. I guess, it appeals to my whole nerd side. I love stop motion movies.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess technically, I thought, I had this false impression that it wasn't 3D, but I think it actually is 3D. I thought they actually did stop motion, but I think once I had the DVD and saw the making of, it's not. So I was a little disappointed by that.
I thought it was too, so don't feel too bad about yourself.
But
Will
it's still
Ferrell in that
awesome.
movie,
It has that look to it.
it does
Yeah.
kind of have that weird 3D look to it, where everything's kind of blurry.
Yeah,
I
they
agree with you.
did an awesome job with just the detail and the story's great too, and it's just fun, and I don't know, I loved
Will
it.
Ferrell he can do no wrong in my opinion, and in that movie
True.
he was incredible. I think he kind of made that movie. Wasn't Chris Pratt also in that movie? Wasn't he the main character, Chris Pratt? Do you guys know Chris Pratt?
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
right.
He's blowing up now too,
Oh, yeah, he had Guardians of the Galaxy, too.
and he also he's going to be in the new Jurassic World movie,
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
and
as a rising star,
he is, and
or
it's
if he
funny
wasn't already a
because
star.
well, I mean, he was like a television star.
Yeah, he was just a goofy chubby guy.
He was the goofy chubby guy.
But then he killed Osama bin Laden in that one movie, and now he's like a superhero.
He was
all the
in
time.
12 Dark 30, right? Is that what it's called?
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
I never saw that. Was that actually good?
yeah, that was a good movie.
And he was one of the main characters in that.
Yeah, he was
he
one
good?
of the SEALs. He was good. That was like the first time you realized that he could, or I realized he could play something outside of just being like Parks and Rec goofy guy.
Okay, so
See,
sorry, go ahead. Adam.
I was just going to say, I think my favorite part in the Lego movie was Will Arnett's Batman.
Hey, babe. What? Let's hold hands.
So, hey guys, I think we're about to crash into the sun.
Yeah, but it's gonna look really cool.
It's just awesome.
Yes. Actually, you're not the first person I've heard say that. My pick is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw. Guys, I forget this.
Oh,
Yes.
good pick.
So I gotta admit, I don't feel like I saw as many movies as I would have liked this year, but Guardians of the Galaxy, I went into it thinking, this is not gonna be a great movie. I'm gonna walk out of this movie and think, yeah, that was decent. And Chris Pratt, that was kind of my first movie that I've seen with him in it as, any kind of like lead role. And I also am not a big superhero guy. I think that Marvel has a lot of potential with all these superheroes that they have, but I'm just not really interested in superheroes. I was never interested in Iron Man until the movie came out, and the movie was great. I guess X-Men was cool, but I've never really been a comic book guy. I don't think any of us are really comic book guys, are we?
No.
I want to be.
That's how I felt.
That's
I really
how the
wanted
movies
to be.
make you want to be. Yeah.
And then you read the comics, and for me anyway, they just weren't nearly as good. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy was a surprise hit to me. It was incredibly fun. I think that it was really, very well cast. Chris Pratt did a tremendous job, and John C. Reilly.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with John C. Reilly. And the characters were fun, and surprisingly, the movie was very heartwarming. The beginning was heart-wrenching. That I am Groot scene, or we are Groot scene towards the end, I thought was very touching. It was kind of almost a tearjerker in a way. I was kind of shielding my face from anyone that could see, because I was thinking, there's no way this movie could be so touching. But it was. And it was fun. The entire thing was fun. I thought the special effects were incredible. Yeah. We're at this point with special effects now where there's literally nothing they can't do. And that's an amazing place to be, I think, if you're a movie lover. So, fun story. I had never even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before. I don't know anything about them from a comic book perspective, but this is, I think, Marvel's surprise, aka Disney's surprise franchise hit. This thing is probably going to keep growing and getting bigger, and I want one of those little I am Groot,
the dancing doll.
I want the one that's in the pot that dances.
I think there's an Instructables on how to make your own.
Oh. You can make one of your own? How would you do that?
Instructables.com. I don't know.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to check that out. But that's my pick. Who's next?
Oh, me,
Buster. What do you got?
I've mentioned this movie before, but I think it's still my favorite of 2014. It was Whiplash with J.K. Simmons.
Whiplash, it's ringing a bell, although I haven't seen it yet.
It's J.K. Simmons, the insurance commercial guy.
The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
I can't.
That's right.
But in this movie, he basically plays like a Steve Jobs of jazz teachers, and he kind of looks like Steve Jobs. He always wears a black tight shirt and stuff, and he's a total a-hole and demands the best out of everybody. It's about also this kid who's a drummer comes into his advanced jazz class. The first day, he just throws a chair at him, makes him cry in front of the whole class. But it turns out to be a really uplifting movie too.
Wow, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's unheard of. Movies rarely get ratings that high on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I actually had a marketing teacher in high school throw a desk.
Oh, really?
And in the movies, it's awesome. But when you actually work at a high school, I think he almost got fired.
Oh, well, that's the thing. The stuff J.K. Simmons' character does. You're like, man, how does he not get fired? And eventually he gets his comeuppance. But, at the same time, he helps bring out so much greatness out of his students, too, by being such a dick. And it kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs, dumping the first iPod in a fish tank and telling those guys, that's not good enough.
You see those air bubbles? Make it smaller. That's one of my all-time favorite Steve Jobs stories, I have to say.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one, Adam? So I forget what product was it, Buster?
It was for the iPod, and it was when they first introduced, it was the first prototype. They brought it to him, and they thought it was thin enough, and I guess he took it over to his fish tank and just dropped it in. And he was like, "Do you see that? There's air bubbles.
As bubbles are coming out of it.
More space in there. Yeah,
make it smaller." Because he was trying to get them to shrink it, and they're like, "We can't. We had to totally redesign manufacturing just to make it this small." And in true Steve Jobs fashion, he doesn't give a fug.
Not good enough.
FUG, by the way. No bleeps needed.
But I mean, and it brought out like a better, product. The iPod was thinner, so
there you go.
I mean,
it's history.
The kind of movie debates like whether like being a dick like that is really necessary to bring out perfection.
I know people say that some people, it's controversial. Some people say that you don't really need to be that aggressive, but man, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he needs to pull their fingernails off or anything like crazy, but I mean, being really tough on people is kind of a great way to get them to do better work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we have our movie picks. We can move on to a Christmas movie that we all enjoy during the holidays. This one can be made anytime you want. Buster, I think you get to go first on this one.
Oh, man.
Tough choice.
There's so many awesome movies.
There are a lot of great ones. And once you start looking through the list of Christmas movies, it reminds you of the ones that you saw when you were a kid, that you haven't seen in forever.
I mean, I'm going to go with Home Alone 1, man.
I have a terrible feeling. Did you lock up?
Yeah.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
Mm-hmm. What else could we be forgetting?
Home Alone 1!
Yeah, that's what me and my girlfriend every Christmas. We always want to watch Home Alone.
I haven't
Probably
seen
more
that
than
movie
any
in
other.
so long.
I probably watch it every year, and it's on TV for 24/7 during Christmas.
I think it's on Netflix as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Macaulay Culkin in its prime.
He peaked early.
It was good while it lasted.
And plus, it's got Joe Pesci, right? Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci and God, what's the other guy? Harry. Or Marv. I can't remember.
He was in City Slickers.
Yeah. He was great too.
He was also the narrator in Wonder Years. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's him. I can't even watch that series because it's so heart-wrenching to me. I think they did that series, Wonder Years, by the way. I'm going off topic here horribly. That they did such a good job representing and communicating what it felt like to be in elementary school, in middle school, that to me it's kind of hard to watch because it brings me back to that time in my life. And it's so well written and the characters are so great and his narration is just brilliant in that series. I digress. Okay, the Christensen family sitting around the living room, the fire's going, the cookies are out for Santa. What are you watching?
I'm gonna maybe pull a Buster on this one like you did with the iOS apps and give you a bunch.
Okay, that's fine.
And because two aren't necessarily Christmas, but I want to put them in there because I love watching them around the holidays because I think they're both hilarious and fun and exemplify what it's like to be, have the whole family all in one place.
Okay, I think you're about to pick one of mine, actually.
But the two fun ones that I'm going to pick, and one that I think not as many people know about, but I love and I think is excellent, is Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians.
By DreamWorks.
We go by many names and take many forms.
Is this
I never saw it. It's the Owl movie?
It's excellent. No. This is the one. The lead character is Jack Frost.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And the premise is that all of the without giving away too much, I think, basically the magical world that children believe in is threatened because the boogeyman is trying to make a comeback, and the guardians of that world, of those worlds, have to get together, and it's Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny.
I'm looking at the picture right now. Yeah,
and Sandman, and then they recruit Jack Frost to fight
naturally.
The boogeyman. It's got like action, adventure. It's just really fun. It's also very heartwarming and touching, and it's got all the elements of a great holiday movie. And I think a lot of people don't know about it.
I have never even heard of this movie.
And it's by DreamWorks. And so the second one that's by DreamWorks that I love and we always have to watch, of course, is now I'm gonna forget about it. Polar Express.
Oh, with Tom Hanks, right?
Yes.
I have not seen that one.
I've never seen it.
That'll make you cry. Yeah,
I'd never cry.
If you have never seen the Polar Express, you got to watch that. at the holidays. It's excellent.
I accidentally just typed Polar Cry instead of Polar Express. Okay, Polar Express.
Polar Express is definitely, and that's the one most people know from DreamWorks for the holidays. But Rise of the Guardians, I think, is just as good and a lot of fun.
It looks like there's 2 Polar Expresses, one made in 1987 and one made in 2013. I'm assuming you're talking about the 2013.
I'm talking the Tom Hanks one.
This Polar Express is probably like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Okay.
So he's probably like a warrior.
Those are probably the family-friendly kid ones.
Okay.
And then the other 2 that are more focused on Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You got to watch that.
That's a holiday pick for you. Wow.
Absolutely.
I just watched that for the first time not long ago.
Getting home. He's trying to get home for Thanksgiving, right?
Right, yeah. Uh-huh.
Right, and it's about travel and like all the hellishness that, trying to get across country at the holiday time too. Right.
Right. John Candy, oh my gosh.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, thank you. Spacing.
Awesome. And then another one that's really great, which has Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. and was directed by Jodie Foster, is called Home for the Holidays.
Okay, I don't think I've heard of this one either. Home for the Holidays.
Yeah, and so it's about all those awkward moments, like when you come home and you're sitting around the table at family dinner and, mom's misbehaved, and you got your drunk uncle there and, it's just all those awkward situations. It's super fun. And Robert Downey Jr. is awesome in that. Mm-hmm. Although I think this movie was done at the height of his drug problem.
Well, that was when he was the most fun, though.
But I think you can tell in this movie, like I think this wasn't a real serious role for him, and and he was like, it was at the low point, I think, and he's still great at it. But just watch it, and you'll see. So,
just watch it and know that he was probably on drugs.
Yeah, he was probably very high, but it's fun. And so there you go. And there's a couple of well-known ones, and then a couple of ones that maybe you haven't heard of or haven't seen yet that are worth watching.
Delightful. I'm going to go. I can't believe that neither of you guys picked this. I'm going to go with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh. Wouldn't be the Christmas shopping season if the stores were any less harder than they are. Whew, it is warm in here.
Well, you have your coat on.
Yes. Oh, do I? How did that happen?
Because it's cold out?
Yes. It is. It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple? There is a nip in the air, though.
Yes.
A
classic.
Christmas classic. More than just being funny, that movie, to me, it makes me feel like it's Christmas. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because I used to watch it growing up when it was Christmas time. That was like the only time it was ever on. One of Chevy Chase's best movies. And if you haven't seen it, I don't even know where you would see it. It's probably not on Netflix or anything like that. Actually, they probably add that kind of stuff this time of year, don't you guys think? That they always like beef up their holiday movies.
They always. The problem with Netflix is they're going to have like National Lampoon's European Vacation Part 2 or
during
whatever.
Christmas. Yeah, right.
Like it's the weird obscure. Like I think I've seen National Lampoon's like Spring Break is up there or something.
That one probably is there, and it's with a cast you've never heard of. Yeah, so National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, a must-watch, in my opinion, over Christmas time and the holiday season. So funny, and it reminds you of having all your crazy relatives at your house.
I want to say that I almost want to say that it's on sale in iTunes right now.
Oh, it might be.
They had a holiday list, a bunch of stuff that was like $9.99 in HD, and I think that's there. Yes, it is.
That's got to be
there.
It's there. Yeah, classic.
It is. Oh, we totally skipped over Elf.
I was considering Elf.
I haven't seen Elf in a long time. Is it one of your favorite
Elf.
Christmas movies?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I don't remember falling in love with it, I'll be honest.
Oh, it's really
But I know there's a lot of people out there that love Elf. Will Ferrell. I mean, as I said, it's Will Ferrell.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go wrong.
I kind of have to like it. I'm going to do one more honorable mention. I mentioned this last year, I believe, and it's at the top of my list of Christmas movies. Die Hard.
He's an easy guy to like.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
And a hard man to kill. Bruce Willis. Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Yeah.
The very first Die Hard.
I didn't want to go with that one because it's almost like a given. It's like a requirement. right?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people argue that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but I
They're
think
wrong.
it is.
Yeah,
they're absolutely they're wrong. And
It's the action Christmas movie.
it's the best Christmas movie. I mean, there's excitement, there's snow, there's Nakatomi Plaza, there's Carl from Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah.
There's cop jokes. There's angry German terrorists. What more do you need to get you in the Christmas spirit? I can't think of anything. Okay. Well, with that, let's move on to our final selection, best of favorites of 2014. Let's do TV shows. This was a tough one for me.
Shows.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said I almost forgot about TV shows.
Yes, we're gonna wrap up with this one. And I think that Adam, are we back with you or am I going now?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I'll start it off.
Go?
Yeah,
okay,
I'll start it off. So I gave this one a lot of thought. I'm gonna pick two because I kind of feel like one is a given. Everyone's gonna be like, as soon as I say it, oh yeah, right, that one's great. And then one that you probably haven't heard of. So mine is Walking Dead. I just absolutely love Walking Dead. It's probably one of my favorite shows on television right now. And actually, I was going to say something that probably was going to give away some of the plot. I will just say this: I love shows that are kind of in a post-apocalyptic world. One of my favorite movies is oh my gosh, The Road. Have you guys seen The Road?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Viggo Mortensen. Oh my, go check out that movie. Great post-apocalyptic world movie. But that's what I love about Walking Dead. They're in this world, and you don't really understand. At least I'm not caught up on the current season, so no spoilers, please. But we haven't gotten to a point where we actually know what the hell is going on in this world. There's no, they don't ever tell you that, and I don't know if they ever will. But that's what I love about it, is it's always kind of hanging out there that people are living in this world where everything has become so chaotic, and there's this ginormous mystery of what happened? How are we going to be able to fix this problem? Is it ever going to get better? They don't really address those issues, and I really like that about that show. Besides the fact that I think the actors are fantastic, it's well cast, it's well written, and they're finally out of that place they were living for a while. Have you guys watched the show?
Were they on the? Are you on? What season are you on?
The farm
or the
no. The farm was one of my favorite seasons. But
oh,
I would
really?
say,
I hated it.
You didn't like that one? So
yeah,
I'll just say they are
out of the prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't a fan of that.
You weren't a fan of
that.
I didn't like the third season or the second season, but then I started watching the fourth season, the latest one, and it's great.
So that's the one where they have been walking down the railroad tracks, right? I don't want to give anything away, and they,
maybe it's the fifth season, whatever the current season is.
Okay. I haven't seen that new one yet, but
oh, you need to watch it. I mean, that's the one that's airing this year.
I'm so happy that the governor storyline has come to a close.
Yeah, I hated that.
I didn't like that.
In the new season, they've kind of brought some new villains in a little bit quicker and offed them a little bit quicker too, and I like that a little bit more.
That's my pick. Adam, what do you got?
All right, I gotta reveal stuff about myself that I don't want to.
But... My Little Pony. It just keeps getting better.
It's almost like that though. Once upon a time.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You got to pitch me this, Adam, because
wow, I know that show.
I've never watched it.
I know that
totally
show.
Hooked on it. I got hooked on it, and I'm totally a season behind. Have you seen it?
I have seen parts of it.
I don't know.
You're talking about with like Rumpelstiltskin and all those kind of like fairy tale characters, right?
Yes, it's like all these fairy tale characters who get, transported, and I won't give it away as to why, but they end up in this town in modern times, and they've all forgotten, they've all sort of they don't know who they are, and it proceeds from there. And they've gone through several seasons, and they've got all these twists on all the classic sort of fairy tale stories that you've heard. And I guess I like a lot of these fairy tale movies that have sort of come out too. Mm-hmm. These like new takes on these stories, and some of them are good, and some of them aren't good. But and I guess I must have to caveat it too with I like sometimes just like shows where I don't have to think a lot about stuff. I can just kind of totally go off into, literally a fantasy world and just,
right.
just like enjoy it for a bit. And I don't
Wow.
expect a lot out of it. So I don't know. Again, when you asked me that question, I had to think about what did I watch over the last year that I really
You're just being
really
honest.
liked.
You're just
I am
being honest. I
honest.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much
As
about you
embarrassing
today.
as it is.
Yes, because I
To
have
admit.
seen that show, and I'm truly surprised to hear that you're enjoying it. But
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't have cable, so I'm not in the current season. I'm a season back,
Mhm.
and they did a whole Neverland themed sort of season last season, and it was great. There was some great spin on those classic sort of stories that you heard and from Disney and stuff growing up. So I don't know. I like it.
Can I just say, season 1, the special effects in that movie were pretty rough. They were pretty
Yeah.
rough. You could tell that they
it's
didn't have a lot
TV.
of budget. And now that they
Those
have,
got a lot better, but
you don't think it has? It seemed like
A
it
little
had
bit
gotten
better, yeah.
improved to me, but
yeah,
they do a lot of green screen in that show. And for me, every time I watched it, I could tell when they were doing green screen, so it kind of pulled me out of the story. As
Yeah.
soon as I saw Rumpelstiltskin, I was like, oh,
Maybe
boy.
I didn't get hooked up on it as much. I don't know. I could have picked Game of Thrones too, but
I'm happy that you didn't though,
obvious.
because we all love that's one of those givens. Everyone loves Game of Thrones, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can also tell you another one that I got hooked on this year is Freak Show.
Freak Show.
Yeah, it was a AMC show, and it showed up on Netflix. Again, I'm watching everything off Netflix, right? So
okay,
the pickings can be kind of somewhat slim, but it's about a guy who runs a Venice Beach like classic freak show, and it's about all the people that work at the freak show. So the sword swallowers and the tattooed man and the bearded lady.
Okay, so it's called Venice Beach Freak Show.
No, the show is, I think, just called Freak Show.
Oh, is it?
But
I must be looking at a different one.
Oh, maybe it's called Venice Beach Freak Show. I don't know. It's based on it's like a reality TV show about the people who work at the Venice Beach Freak Show.
Oh, okay, I found it. No, you're right. It's just called Freak Show.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's little people throwing glitter in the AMC homepage. This looks interesting.
God.
There's a guy with an accordion. Okay.
No, I mean, that gets into just some pretty macabre, gruesome stuff, but it's fascinating.
Is that off cable? I thought that was cable.
No, that is
Oh, you're
cable.
watching
but
on
again,
Netflix. You said
yeah,
that.
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, like a few seasons of that.
Buster.
Oh, okay. I got 2.
Okay.
I would say one, True Detective was, really, I like that show
That's
a lot.
on my short list. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
But it
Oh,
looks
man.
great.
It was really good. I think Woody Harrelson in it he was awesome. It was creepy and dark, and it was great. It was only 8 episodes, so it was an awesome short series.
Is it over?
Yeah, they're only doing like one-off seasons. So like next season is gonna have 3 entirely new actors. I can't remember who it is. I think it's like Amy McAdams and
I didn't realize it was a miniseries.
3 people. Yeah, each season, it's kind of like a miniseries. So they only have 8 episodes. It was awesome, man. Like, I mean, it takes place down in the South. Some creepy stuff happens. Some voodoo, weird, nasty stuff. It was awesome.
I'm into it. Okay.
And then I would say my favorite new show of 2014 would probably be Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I think he's brilliant, man. Have you watched any episodes of that?
I have, and I have to say, if you haven't seen his Netflix rant, or I'm not his Netflix rant, I'm sorry.
His FCC rant?
His net neutrality rant.
The Federal Communications Commission has agreed to move forward on a proposal that could change the way we use the internet. At risk, the basic principle of net neutrality.
Net neutrality.
Net neutrality.
Yes, net neutrality. The only 2 words that promise more boredom in the English language are featuring Sting.
And it's on YouTube, and for all the complaining that I have done, I will fully admit I have not done it very eloquently. And he explains why people should care about this so well. If you haven't seen it, go check out John Oliver's net neutrality rant on YouTube. It's really great. It's like 10 minutes long too. And he actually makes the topic entertaining, which I think is his talent, taking really boring topics that people don't usually care about and making them fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. I think the only problem with this show is it's on HBO, but I think now that Colbert's gone, he's kind of like the funniest guy of the fake newscasters.
I was actually just going to say that.
Aren't we supposedly getting really close to being able to get HBO Go without a cable package?
I think that's coming to
Yeah, supposedly in April.
Yeah, so maybe that won't be such an issue anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I have to say, HBO is, I've said this before on previous shows, is one of my favorite new things. I know it's been around for like 30 years, but I've never had a subscription to HBO. And now that they have HBO Go and you can stream it to the Xbox on the new Xbox HBO Go app, you could do it on your iPhone and stream it to your Chromecast. The HBO content is unbelievably good. They have some kind of magic about them. They're able to create shows that are engaging and fun to watch. And I kind of feel like all the best shows right now are on either AMC or HBO.
Yeah.
And it's just one hit after another on HBO. In fact, my next pick, and I think this might be the last one unless you guys have something else that you want to honorably mention. My favorite new series that I have seen this year is on HBO, and it is a documentary series. It's called Young Arts Master Series. And I don't know how many episodes they're going to make. I think there's probably like 5 or 6. And I really love music. I really love art. And the thing I love about this series is they take up-and-coming artists or musicians or writers or photographers or violin players, and they pair them with the savants in their field. So the people that are, universally known for being incredible. For example, one of them pairs these musicians, these violin players, with this guy named Joshua Bell, who was kind of like this young violin savant. He was playing all the most difficult pieces when he was 5 years old, and they're showing all this footage of him, and then now he's older. He's probably in his 30s, and he's one of the most talented, well-known violin players in the world. So they pair him with them, and they just kind of have him teach them what he knows, and they share, this musical experience, and they document the entire thing. And at the end, they have this kind of capstone performance, whether it's an artist or a musician, where they do something with one of the artists or one of you musicians and showcase their work. And I think it's magical. It's absolutely engaging to watch. I love seeing these artists start from one place and come out totally different people because they've had this mentoring experience that has totally changed their outlook. They pick really, really talented artists as well. So you have to be selected by this young arts organization to be paired with one of these mentors. And they have the whole series on HBO. It's fantastic. If you have HBO, I would highly recommend that you watch it. The only problem is that you think you're going to watch one and then you end up staying up till 2 a.m, finishing all the ones that are there, which is a problem when you have unlimited HBO and you're behind on Game of Thrones.
Oh, dude.
And you need to go to bed.
Like lately I've been watching The Sopranos and catching up with that. Yeah, it's like I have to watch like 5 episodes in the row till like 2 a.m.
Right. Even if you've seen it before. I'm doing the same thing with Game of Thrones right now because I'm not up to update on the newest season, and I wanted to redevelop my hatred of Joffrey. so I was like, I need to start from season 1 so I can have the catharsis, and that's the same reason I haven't finished Breaking Bad, because I'm kind of like I've lost that emotion. So I need to start.
See, I haven't even gotten into Breaking Bad yet because I know I'm just gonna that'll just obliterate.
Oh, you'll just go through it all.
Yeah.
Tell your family you love them. You'll see them in
2
a month.
weeks.
You're gonna have the longest, Father Winter beard when you're done. It's gonna be like 2 feet long. You're gonna smell terrible. But you're gonna have quite an experience. I have to say that their very first episode of Breaking Bad was one of the most gripping episodes of television I've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh man, you're just like,
what the hell is going on?
Like the very first frame, where he's in his undies.
Driving through the desert in a Winnebago in his whitey tighties with a gas mask on. I mean, and I'm not spoiling anything for those of you who haven't seen it. It's like the first thing you see. And you're like, what is going on? So good.
Yeah.
But
I've heard.
Yeah, you should over your Christmas vacation, Adam.
Yeah.
Revisit it.
I don't get a vacation. Are you kidding? We're podcasters. You guys get a vacation?
No. We're this is our this is going to be released on Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. You know, what are your thoughts on taking vacations for podcasting? Just before we wrap up here, because we've thought about just taking the time off and not doing a Christmas episode or a New Year's episode. But I'm sure you probably have never missed, have you?
It's been a long time. It's been 10 years. So yes, I think we've missed here and there, but it's usually it's fine. If you want to, I think the audience, this is a community. Everybody listening to us right now are friends, basically. So they're like, hey, if you need a week, take a week.
We could talk about it. Maybe next year, Buster.
Yeah.
We've been dedicated. We've never missed a show. In fact, I remember one time I was coming home and I got to my car and we were going to be recording in like an hour and a half. And I realized that someone had broken into my car and had ripped out my lock cylinder. So I couldn't start it. And I couldn't lock my car either because they damaged a bunch of stuff. So I had to leave my car there and take a bus home, record the episode, and then come back later that night and have my car towed.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I would say it's better to just miss a week than to... I hate it when shows will do the, air an old episode or, try and give you some sort of filler.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather just not have a show. You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm with you. And also, I think, even with television shows, when they take a month or two off, when they come back, it's fresh. They feel like you feel like they're rested. In fact, what shows
do you
watch?
Show,
yeah, I agree. It just kind of gets better. So we'll be taking all of 2015 off. We'll see you guys in 2016. You can thank Adam Christensen for that piece of advice. But seriously, no, we'll be back. But we'll be back next year. But you don't have that long to wait. Let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Adam, thank you for joining us last minute.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
It's always great to have you on. And what better way to wrap up 2014 than with someone like yourself joining us? I just can't think of a better way to do it.
Yeah, and me revealing my embarrassing TV choices. Sure.
Yeah, right. Thank you for being so brutally honest in all of your revelations.
This is true reality.
And if people wanted to connect with you online, so many ways to do it. Can you tell us?
Yep. Mattcast.com, is where you'll find me and all the shows and things like that. I also do an iOS show. It's called the iOS Show with Jeff Gamet and Michael Johnston. That's more iOS focused. And then you can find me on Twitter or Facebook, all those places. Just search if you Google Mattcast or my name, you'll find me.
All the good stuff is going to come up. Well, that's all the Cultcast we have for you guys this week. And if you want to follow me or Buster on Twitter, we're there too. I'm at Airfon Buster's BST3R. This has been the Cultcast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the Cultcast come out every Thursday night, every single one. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you guys next year in 2015, possibly 2016. We'll see how it goes. Ho! Hello, Alex Excelsior Heath.
Hello, you're 6 minutes late.
Well, I was feeding my reindeer.
Oh, okay, Santa. I'll cut you some slack.
Santa fun. Claus Elijah. That's a nice ring to it. Let's see if we could bring on the other good boys.
Hello.
Ho, 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 ho. There's my good little boy, Bustier Heine.
Do I get to sit on your lap?
Oh, I insist. Oh.
Yeah.
Do I have a Christmas package for you?
Oh, I want to taste your candy cane, Santa. Wow.
Things just took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I just went there. Yeah.
You made it
Sorry,
weird.
sorry, guys. Shouldn't have called me. Oh,
Hey, man.
Nice.
Hey.
There's the good boy I like, Leander Caney. I'm going to bounce you on my knee.
Oh, dear. Don't like the sound of that at all.
Wait. Oh, I'm looking at the weight you've gained this year. That may not be a good idea. I just pat you on the head and send you on your way.
Right. Yeah, I forgot. It's the Merry Xmas issue, right?
Yeah, Buster told Santa he wanted to taste his candy cane. Oh, Santa didn't like that.
He didn't like it?
He put me on the naughty list. Bastard.
Moved. Nice boy list to the naughty list.
The Santa that used to work at my local mall would have loved that. They made him wear white gloves so he could keep an eye on his hands at all times.
You don't mind if Santa cops a field, do you? Oh.
Is this the Russian Santa?
Yeah, it's the only kind I do.
Oh, okay.
You don't mind if I cop field, do you?
His breath stinks of vodka.
Don't all mall Santa's breath stink of some type of strong alcohol?
Yeah. Most of the good ones anyway, yeah. And then their beards all stained yellow, right, with nicotine.
Only like the top half.
Yeah, right,
It's
exactly. Just
absorbed
around the mouth, yeah.